What's up, y'all? Welcome to another story time video. I know it's been a minute since I did one of these, but I swear to God, it's one of the number one things when people come up and be like, yo, I saw this video. Besides the coming out videos or the sex education videos, it's usually one of my story time videos. It's hilarious how you guys know that I'm afraid of whales or know some things that have happened in my ex relationships. So anyways, I did a podcast interview where they asked me like a crazy event that happened in my life, and I happened to bring this up. And then I was like, wait, I can't even believe I haven't told that story on story time. First of all, I have a lot of stories that I maybe should or shouldn't tell y'all. I just have a lot of stories in general that I haven't even told anyone. So if you guys are still interested in these story time videos after this one, let me know in the comments below and I got you with more. So this video is really complex, y'all, because I'm gonna talk about a bunch of different things. There's a lot of aspects that are in this story, like my parents being divorced, my mom trying to date, us going camping, my first gay experience, and the news, my father and a bunch of other people thinking we were dead. Yeah, it's that crazy. Okay, so let's talk about it, y'all. So to start this story off, my parents are divorced. My dad is in Los Angeles working for the LA Raiders, and he's busy a lot. And my mom is in Northern California working and trying to be a social butterfly to get new friends and try to find a boo or whatever. But one of the things that she enjoyed doing with us is camping. I love camping. I'm such an outdoorsy person. Put me on Alone or Naked and Afraid and I'm gonna figure it out. Between the skills that I learned camping with the white people and the skills that my dad taught me with living off the land, I'm ready at all times. And that's how I was when I was young. I was like, you know, the man of the house when my dad wasn't around, and I collected pocket knives and I knew how to do things and set up traps and do fires, all that. So I was prepared. Okay, I always am. So we head out to go camping in my mom's trusty Volvo. Both my parents love Volvos. I love Volvos. It's a thing, but my mom had a Volvo. So we pack it up and we're driving. But as we're going up the mountain, literally like full on up a mountain like this, the car just stops and it's like put, 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 put. And we're like barely making up the hill. We like start to roll down. So my mom finds this part on the mountain where it's kind of just like leveled out and it's not that big of a space or whatever, right? And we're sitting in the car. My mom's like, I don't know what to do. Now, I know I'm the man in the house and everything, but I don't know how to fix cars yet. So I'm just sitting there like, ah. Now this is back in the day. So the way to get a hold of people is not the way to get a hold of people now. My mom worked for a cellular company, so she always had the updated cell phone or whatever, but we're in the middle of the mountain. So there's no signal. And her friends that went camping are like hippies. They don't even have phones. So it's like, who do we call? What do we do? Because we're on this really specific ledge on this one side of the mountain where a lot of people aren't camping. So there's not a lot of traffic going up or down, right? So we're kind of shit out of luck. Now, I'm sitting in the car with my mom and I'm just like, listen, we got all that we need. Let's just camp right here, right? Because some cars stopped to talk to us and see if we were okay, but they were sketchy ass people and I wasn't about that, right? So this one car comes and it's this man with his two daughters, right? And so my mom decides like, oh, he's handsome. Let's be real about it. And also like he seems harmless. He has two daughters and he's like, hey, it's getting dark. I circled back because I'm just worried about you guys. Are you sure you don't want to like stay? He's like, you can have the whole tent area. Me and my family will stay in the cabin or vice versa. All the ladies can stay in the house. I'll stay outside. He was just like really, really nice. Now I was like, I saw the twinkle in my mom's eye thinking he was cute. So I wasn't about that. I was like, no, we can stay here. We can stay right here in this car. I don't want to go with them, right? Anyway, we went. We go to the campsite. Now, the campsite was really nice. Their cabin was really nice. Right away, I hit it off. I think I was like 9, and there was a girl. She was 10. So she was a little bit older. You know what I'm saying? And it was her, one of her like cousins that were like kind of close to her age, and a little young sister. She was too young to play with my sister, but my sister found her own vibes with her dolls and she was away, right? So we decided to play house, me and the other ones or whatever, right? And of course I'm daddy. You know what I'm saying? Who else was daddy in the house? Just let me know. Anyway, so of course I'm daddy. And then she's like, I'm the mother. So we're like mothering the two other little ones or whatever, all this other stuff. And we get really into our roles. Okay, like really into her roles. And she's like, shouldn't we like fake kiss? She's so a little older. She might be even a little older than 10. I don't know, but she older and she knows more than me, right? So she's like, oh, we got a fake kiss. And I just felt like our lips were getting closer and she wanted to hug me longer. And she's like, she wanted to keep role playing the point where daddy's off to work and I have to embrace her before I leave for the day. She wanted to do that over and over, y'all. Okay, so long story short, okay? House turned into we're on top of each other, we're rolling around and we're humping like Yeah, I mean, it was a lot for me. It was also a great experience. I was just like, yeah, I'm really into this role right now. You know what I'm saying? It was all cute and games, and my mom zipped open the tent because we went from in the cabin to on the side where nobody could see to in our own tent zipped up. That's some gay ass shit. Anyway, my mom zipped the thing open. We were like, oh, mom, we were just, I don't even know what we said. I think we said hugging. We were just hugging. She's like, oh, I'll see you ladies in a minute. And she goes away. She goes off to to the dude over to the side. And he was just like, oh, it's just girls being girls. Thank God for him, right? My mom just gave me weird looks and us weird looks the rest of the time. But long story short, we had a really good day and evening, okay? So we had an evening, we roasted like s'mores and stuff like that. The next morning, we wake up slow. He's like, hey, I'm having a great time with you guys. Is it okay if we make you breakfast? So the whole plan was, okay, we hang out with them, we eat breakfast, whatever. He's gonna take us around the camps to find our friends, take us to our car to get the rest of our stuff, and then help us get to our friends or somebody help us with the car, whatever. That's what the goal was or whatever, right? Since everybody's phones didn't work. So anyways, we take our time leaving. We go and we find my mom's camp, and then we get back and we're like, we'll be back later. We get back in the car, we head down the mountain. Y'all, as we're heading down the mountain, as we get closer and closer, we start hearing sirens and we start seeing all these lights, because as we were circling the mountain to find people, we were really thrown off, because as we were driving around the mountain to find my mom's friends, we kept hearing helicopters and we didn't understand why. We're like, maybe a hiker got hurt. It just was really strange. So we're coming down the mountain, we see lights, we hear sirens, we see the news, we see helicopters, and we're like, what is going on? So finally we come closer and closer and closer to where my mom's car would be, because it's like a very thin mountain. So at this point, it's only one lane, because there's only one, like barely any cars could go by, because the news and all that were holding up a whole lane, and people had to they had to direct traffic and one person go through at a time, because it's like a very small two lane, and then it's like a cliff, right? As we're coming down, we're like finally getting through the traffic or whatever, right? Because we're like, oh, we gotta bypass all this to get to our car. And then we're realizing, oh my God, this is where our car was. So we get out of the car, and as we get out of the car and we start walking to where the car was, all of a sudden the news is like, Karen, it starts rushing up to my mom. It's like, are you okay? What's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And we're like sitting there like, what the hell? News and cameras start coming at me. It was crazy. And then from not that far away, we see a helicopter do some weird shit. It's like the news and media parted, and all of a sudden I saw my dad screaming our names and running up to us. My dad that literally had a football game the day before. This is crazy. He's supposed to be in LA. We're in the middle of a mountain in Northern California. What is my dad doing here? And he starts rushing up. So honestly, as a young person and all this stuff happening, I had no idea what was going on. Zero. I'm over here sitting I'm just trying to get my comic books, my caboodle with my trolls and my pogs and all my Legos and all my cool shit out of the car. That's all I'm caring about at this point. I'm like, Dad, that's cool. You came camping with us, but you look really nice. He was all dressed up and shit. I'm like, where's the car? So my dad is like, Karen, don't you know what's going on? And he ends up telling my mom, and the news people end up telling all of us that our car was vandalized. It had stuff written on it. It was like somebody hit it with a bat, broke all the windows, everything. The trunk was bashed in, and the car was pushed over the cliff, all the way down, hundreds of feet, and nobody got to it. But everybody was trying to figure out how to get to it, but they knew that it was my mom's car because they looked registration, they ran it, they said, oh my God, this is the wife of coach and Super Bowl winner Arthur Whittington's family. So of course it hits the news so fast. News gets to the Raiders so fast. The owner of the Raiders was freaking out because he's so close to my dad that he gave my dad his private security and his private helicopter. So that's why the Raiders and their security were out there with the news. So the owner, sitting his private security, whatever, had them out there scouring the mountain looking for us. I mean, it was crazy. It was 2 news helicopters in the air and then one with the Raider symbol. It was wild. They thought that because the car was pushed over and the trunk was bashed in, that us 3 possibly would be in that trunk. Yeah. So when we were on the news and when my dad found out, he was afraid that, his family was gone. So that was why his reaction and the Raiders' reaction and everybody's reaction was that way. And it was just so crazy because I just wanted my Legos. But no, it's so crazy, y'all, because I really wanted to stay in the car and camp, and I'm so glad we didn't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for a lot of reasons. I had a little gay moment. We ended up being safe. I don't know. I feel like in a way it reconnected my parents because they were going through it at that time. And I feel like since then, around that point, they learned friendship and became like best friends, because it was not that long before that they were going through a divorce and like a hard custody situation. And I think that that's what it takes. It's like a really tough, scary situation turned into a gay moment for me. Ding. I also love this story because my dad is literally so afraid to fly, but literally had to fly like every other day for work. But what he's really fearful of besides snakes is helicopters. So the fact that my dad left work, jumped in a helicopter and went to like the mountains, which also he doesn't really mess with like that, to look around and find us. I mean, obviously like he loves us, we're his family, but when you think about that and that funny part of it, it was just like, oh, like that's love, man. He really was like, by any means necessary. I don't know, I think because recently losing my dad, I've been thinking about like crazy stories and crazy times with the family and all that. And I feel like that was a big one, right? Let me know what you guys think of my wild story in the comments below. And if you want to, go ahead and tell me when you had your first little gay moment. This is not about coming out. This is that moment where you're just like, oh, I have a crush on my babysitter. Oh my God, I love playing the man or the woman of the house. Whatever it was, let me know in the comments below. I really want to know. And if you had also life flashing before your eyes situation, also let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you want more story times from me, and I got y'all. I love y'all so much. I'll see you soon. Peace.